What's going on, everyone? This is Eric with SweetSpotDFS, and welcome to a DFS strategy video for the 2022 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Hopefully you had a chance to watch the preview video I put out yesterday, as I covered all of the requirements needed in order to build the optimal lineup. But of course, we know that's just half the battle. We still need to find the right players to match those requirements. So join me in this video as I attempt to find those players, so we can hit the sweet spot of this tournament and take down a GPP. Before we actually get into it, I want to remind you guys you can win some money this week. The first way being through the subscriber giveaway. All you gotta do is be subscribed to the channel, comment down below, give me your favorite two golfers that you're anchoring your lineups around, and you'll get a free entry into this giveaway. Now, I run these giveaways at the end of the week as long as we hit the goal that's on the screen right now. 285 subscribers. We're at 280. So if you're not yet subscribed, we're just 5 away from running this giveaway, which would be pretty remarkable because 2 weeks in a row we'll be running a giveaway. We just did this last week, so hopefully we do it again. The second way you can win money is through Prize Picks. If you've not yet signed up and you're in a state that allows it, I have a link in the description below that'll get you straight to the sign up page utilizing the promo code SweetSpot. And if you sign up with that code, put $20 into your account, you're automatically entered into this giveaway. Best part of this giveaway, your name is never going to be removed from it until you win it. So if you don't win it this week, I'll put it into next week, so on and so forth. And another little cherry on top, Prize Picks is going to match your deposit up to $100. So if you put $20 into your account, you win this giveaway, you're going to be playing Prize Picks for free, but it's not going to be with $20, it'll be with $40. So highly encourage you guys to sign up. Prize Picks is an easy way to win money. It's also really fun to kind of play fantasy golf. So again, link in the description below. But let's go ahead. Let's get into this thing. We're going to start with this sweet spot rank. Now, the rank is calculated by looking at a few stats. So I have them on the screen right now. You can kind of see them. I'm highlighting them. Official World Golf Ranking. We're looking at the grass stats, course history, bogey avoidance, birdie or better. Some of the recent form stats. I really didn't update them because there's just not enough stats to really use, and I'm actually kind of looking to update this whole process, so I'm not really too keen on these stats. But we're also looking at the season-long stats of DraftKings points, scoring average, rounds under 70%, cut made percentage, and DK top 10, and that's going to make a score that then creates the rank. If you are kind of wondering why there's a jump from 6 to 8, that's because Will Zalatoris was number 7. And I just didn't update the ranks because I already had these color coded and I just didn't want to go through the trouble. But you see the top 20 on the screen minus Chris Kirk. Chris Kirk is number 20, actually. What I like to do with these sweet spot ranks is just try to find some irregularities, some things that kind of stand out. The first thing is Charlie Hoffman at $8,100. Now, you got to remember Charlie Hoffman has withdrawn the last 2 weeks, but he rated out really well last week at the Farmers, and he rated really well at the American Express, but he also withdrew from those, I think, for undisclosed reasons. So there's a little bit of risk here with Charlie Hoffman, but I mean, I kind of want to take that risk. $8,100, he's a good value. Another good value is Lucas Glover at $7,800 and Matt Kuchar at $7,600. Now, as you can kind of see, DraftKings salaries kind of match my sweet spot ranks. So we have something in common here when it comes to our ranking of at least the top 20. Our bottom golfers are probably going to be a little bit different, or maybe not so much bottom. The mid golfers that we have might be a little bit different. But for the most part, we're kind of on the same level. Kevin Streelman, to me, I guess, is my only guy that rates out kind of bad. Him and Christian Bezuidenhout, those are the only two that really kind of rate out poorly for their price tag. But don't get me wrong, Streelman, really great course history. Bezuidenhout, a really good fit for this golf course. So just keep those things in mind. Now, I use this sweet spot rank to find the Marquee tee time pairings. And just to give you an explanation of how I do this, on a typical week, not including this week is way different, but on a typical week, we have 3 golfers in a pairing. This week, we only have 2. But let's pretend we had 3. What I would do is take the field size, which for this tournament's 156 golfers, and I multiply that by 0.59 to create a threshold. I just do 0.59. It's an arbitrary number because it fits golf. 59 is a really good number in golf. It used to be 66%. It used to be 60%. Now I just changed it to 59 because, again, it's fun. That creates a threshold. And if the ranking is under that threshold, then they're in the Marquee Tee Time pairing. Like, their cumulative ranks for all three golfers. If it's under the threshold, they're in a Marquee Tee Time pairing. But now we have two golfers. And just to explain this is a Pro-Am. So each golfer is paired with a celebrity, meaning there's now 4 golfers in their group. But there are only 2 pros. So when I look at this, when I create the sheet and I'm trying to figure out Marquee Tee Time pairings, I have a hard time figuring it out. And so what I've done is I take that threshold that I found, so 156, multiply by 0.59 or 59%, gets you a number, I think it's around 92. And then I take that number and I multiply it by 66%. Because, 2 out of 3 is 66%. And if you think about it, 2 golfers out of a normal 3 golfers, that's kind of where we get our ratio. That creates a number like 62. So if the cumulative rank is under 62, they're in a Marquee Tee Time pairing. I know it's complicating. And I won't lie, this week just, oh my God, guys, it grinds my gears. How long it took for tee times to finally come out. I'm recording this super late because of how long the tee times, how long it took to come out. And then just to find out, a lot of these golfers are paired with really crappy golfers. I mean, Cantley, I'm kind of excited about this Cantley Chapel lineup, but I can't scroll down here and see like Tringale's with Uline, Maverick McNeely's with Affy Barnrat, which is fine, but like Kiradech hasn't really been notable for a while. I highlighted this one because I like these 2 golfers together, Taylor Moore and Steven Yeager. But like, if we go to some of our other good golfers, Jason Day, Nick Taylor, I like that one. We'll talk about these guys, but like Seamus Power is with John Murphy. They're both from Ireland, just so you know. John Murphy is Irish, so maybe that plays well for Seamus Power. I don't know. And I don't know how these lineups are made. Maybe it's their best friends. Like, I honestly don't know. Because Jordan Spieth is with Ryan Palmer, and that seems like a really good lineup. But, if there was a good golfer, they're mixed with a poorly rated golfer. I'm trying to find some scenarios like maybe Kuchar and Dylan Fratelli. Or maybe I'm just remembering this incorrectly. I don't think so. I mean, our feelings are our memories, right? Or our memories are our feelings. Yeah, this is a good one. Mito Pereira with Callum Tarren. I don't know how you say his name, but, Mito ranks out well. I mean, Callum hasn't been here, on the PGA Tour for many tournaments, so he's just not going to rate out well because he's, from Europe, or he plays on the European Tour. But yeah, I guess these are just slight examples, but I'm still not super excited about a lot of these pairings. I mean, maybe it's because it's kind of a weak field, but anyways, let's move on. Marquee Tee Time pairings. There aren't many of them. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, I had the American Express up, and I was going to show you guys this. The American Express had, I think, a total of 24 golfers, so there were 12 Marquee Tee Time pairings. Whereas in this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 Marquee Tee Time pairings. To use like a comparison, the American Express with their 12 Marquee Tee Time pairings, again, 24 golfers, only one of them was in the optimal lineup. And usually we find 2 from the optimal, or from the Marquee Tee Times in the optimal lineup. There were 3, however, in the GPP winning lineup. So keep that in mind. The goal is to win a GPP, right? I mean, we're aiming for the optimal lineup in case we miss and win a GPP. I mean, that's kind of the funny tagline here. Aim small, miss small, that kind of thing. So I don't know what to make of this. I almost just want to scrap Marquee Tee Time pairings because I don't know how to look at this. I mean, I really like Jordan Spieth, so I think that's still a good thought. I also really like Daniel Berger. As you can see, Patrick Cantlay is not on this list because he's paired with some I don't even know, a nut job. Like, who was it again? I already forgot. I think I filled it in with light green color to talk about Patrick Cantlay. Oh, a nut job. Well, yeah, kind of, right? Kevin Chappell, but man, I highlighted, these are all notable golfers, by the way. I just highlighted them because I kind of like the idea of them paired together. I think they can, feed off each other. Like Kevin Chappell has known to go super low, so I think that helps with Cantlay. And I kind of think Chappell, if he can draft off of Cantlay, play Cantlay's type of game, I think that's good for Chappell. So I like that group, and I like everyone else that I've highlighted here, like Svensson and Smotherman. They themselves can shoot really low scores. I like that. Smalley and Hodges, really good Korn Ferry Tour guys from last year. A lot of these guys I like. So take a screenshot, use them at your disposal. I'm not going to go over all of these guys. From here, what I want to do, let's look at some grass stats really quick. I didn't mention that in the intro, but I always like to just give you guys kind of the sense of what will happen, or not so much what will happen, but who are the best in the field. The last 2 weeks going over grass stats, we've only seen a max of 2 guys in the optimal lineup and a max of 3 guys in the GPP winning lineup within the top 20 that you see on the screen. So keep that in mind. These are the best POA golfers in the field. You can see some of them have very low amount of events under their belt. So again, take it as you want. Maybe you can see some value plays, Pendrith or Kuchar. This is your overall average finishing position for these guys. This dates back to 2013. So maybe Kuchar you can throw out because a lot of his data goes back to 2013. Same with Rose. But like Smotherman or Pendrith or even Fitzpatrick, it doesn't go back that far. So these would be your best POA golfers just on average. How about their likelihood of finishing inside the top 10? Jason Day above and beyond anyone else in the field. And then it goes to Rose and then Aaron Rai. 3 events, 1 top 10 equals 33%. So keep that in mind. And then we got a few more golfers down here like Patrick Cantlay, 28% clip. Pretty good. Not great. Like last week we had John Rahm at the Farmers. He had a 45% clip of finishing inside the top 10. And guess what? He finished inside the top 10. Yeah, you can see some of these other guys up here. So do with that as you will. Some names that kind of pop off to me that I like seeing is Schwartzel. Schwartzel's kind of a low 7K golfer that I'm considering in my lineups. Same goes with Scott Stallings, Patrick Rogers. I didn't really consider Ryan Moore until seeing this. So maybe we'll play with Ryan Moore a couple in our lineups. Yeah, I really have nothing else to add there. And then this is last year POA. I need to update that. I say that in every single one of my videos. I need to update that to look at. This is just 1 year's worth of POA data. It doesn't really matter how many events they have, but here are your best performers on POA over the last year. So again, take a screenshot. For me, Chris Kirk, I like seeing that with Kirk. 29, average finishing place, not super great, but it helps me, feel okay with rostering him. Same goes with Charlie Hoffman. Try Merritt's interesting. So is Mito. I like seeing that with Mito, especially his 25% clip of finishing inside the top 10. 4 events, only 1. Just keep that in mind. Oh, Kevin Twice, 6,500. We talked about him in the preview. Actually, I talked about him on the Turn podcast that I did with Joe Nicely. He rated out number 1 in all the 6K golfers for me. Adam Svensson was number 2, so keep that in mind. Okay, I think what we can do from here, let's go over the buckets. I was gonna say let's get into building some lineups. So I'm gonna create anchor buckets. These are the buckets we can feel with most certainty will definitely have a top 10 finisher come from it. And then we can select some of our favorite golfers based off of that. So with minimum projection, I included a conditional that says greater to or equal than 0.9. So keep that in mind. Greater than or equal to 0.9. And then from here, what I want to do is get rid of all of the zeros in the minimum frequencies of top 10 finishes. That means I want top 10 finishes at least once for each of these buckets. And these are going to be our last, or these are going to be our anchor buckets. So it's already showing you want a 10K, a 9K, and a 7K. But then we look at our projections and we can see we want somewhere between 1 to 2 for most of them. Our 7K range, we want somewhere between 1 to 3 with a chance of doing 4. So keep that in mind. And then strokes gain stats, you can see them also here. Strokes gain 1 mean all stats positive. Strokes gain 2 means positive putting, positive off the tee, and a negative stat in between, whether that's approach or around the green. I'm not sure. I don't care. Strokes gain 3, positive off the tee, negative putting with whatever stat in between. And you can see that's mostly 1 to 2, but 1 to 3 for strokes gain 3 and 1 to 3 for strokes gain 1. And then we have our other buckets up here. The only last year bucket is our last year 2s, which are that 1 to 20 range. This is actually an interesting stat because if you recall us talking about it, there's a trend that's going around. There's a couple trends actually. 10 of the last 13 golfers who topped 16, who had a 16th place finish or better at this event has gone on to win the event. And let me rephrase that. 10 of the last 13 winners at this event had a top 16 from the year before. So that just kind of plays into this bucket big time. We're looking at 2 to 4 golfers from this bucket to finish inside the top 10. Now, when I pull up the optimizer, I actually only made it 1, the minimum 1. Like we want at least 1. Only because having, looking at your minimum for that bucket is only 1. I think there's a chance we only see 1. But I do like the idea of having, loading up your lineups with these golfers. So now that you kind of have a sense of what these buckets are, and again, if you haven't seen the preview video, go watch it. We talked about these in depth. So I'm not going to spend too much more time here. We're going to actually make this video as quick as possible. We're going to use the optimizer. And the optimizer is really, it's an easy way for me to use the conditionals of the buckets. I can put whatever requirements I want the optimizer to look at to build me some lineups. So if you want access to this, just follow the same things required for the subscriber giveaway. You got to be subscribed. Leave a comment down below. Again, your favorite 2 golfers you're anchoring your lineups around. And then you're going to have to email me at SweetSpotDFS@gmail.com and say, hey, I am interested in using the optimizer. And I will send it your way. And then also, if you have any questions on it, just reach out to me. I am pretty readily available. I can talk to you either on Twitter, through email. It does not matter. I'll work with you through this. It's pretty easy to use once you get the hang of it. So as I was going through there, I already put in, I should say this before we start. I already put in the conditionals that I want. I have all the anchor buckets loaded in here. You can see we want a strokes gain 1, 2, and 3. Like I said, a 10K, a 9K, and I actually loaded in 2 7Ks. So I'm having the optimizer actually select those things. And then the rest of the buckets that we really didn't talk about, but we did in the preview video, you can see I loaded all of those in there as well. And then I put all the maxes here. So this is actually a previous one that I was kind of messing around with. This was like lineup number 20 that I actually liked. So I kept it on there for you guys to see and also for me to record so I can have this for my own personal use. But if I run the optimizer with nothing, included or required here, we're going to see how this looks. So as it shows, using the bucket logic that I have in place, it actually chose 4 last year 1s. These are golfers who did not play, I believe. Let's take a look. I take the filter off. Last year 1s did not plays. So there are 4 of them. Now I could make the optimizer select 2 of the last year 2s because we kind of talked about that. I wonder if I have that in. Yeah, 4 is definitely the number there. 4 should be the number here as well. So let me actually update that. I probably didn't because I wanted to be somewhat conservative. So 4, and let's do 2 here just to see what this looks like. So you can see what that lineup spit out. It actually shows the same thing. What changed? Oh, we added Chris Kirk. Man, I have the worst short-term memory, I swear. So whereas if we only had 1 here, we had Cantlay that actually led off, and then Kuchar, Mitchell, Schwartzel, Sig. And if we put 2 in there, this changes quite a bit, right? Now we have Spieth, Hoffman, Kirk, Sink. These are, so Rose and Grayson, Sig actually stay there. Those seem to be, I guess, anchor plays if you want to think of it that way. And I actually like this lineup construction. 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 7. The 7K range is going to rule the top 10, I think. It's definitely gonna have the most golfers from the top 10. But if I'm being honest, I mean, I really like Patrick Cantlay this week. So just using the ranks, he is my number 1 guy, followed by Berger, followed by Spieth. It goes in line with salaries. I want to build a Patrick Cantlay lineup. And if we use the anchor buckets that we had here, we can look at our last year 2, which is Cantlay. We can see what other bucket he is in. So maybe a last week 2. What is a last week 1s that did not plays, which also is going to be Patrick Cantlay. Trying to find another anchor bucket that has like 1 or 2 that I know we absolutely want. How about this? We know we need a 10K golfer, and we know we need a 9K golfer. So let's just find that anchoring right now. So my favorite 10K is going to be Patrick Cantlay. And then we have a great list of 9K golfers to choose from. Now, Cameron Tringale is my favorite 9K golfer. But I'm actually kind of getting a little bit warmer on a Matt Fitzpatrick. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is he has 2 buckets where he is a 6. In course history and recent form, which 6 is not good. The lower the number, the better. Just in general, that doesn't actually apply all the time, because we do have these projections that are in place where you can actually have, a high projection on a bad bucket number, like course history 6, for example. That one is actually projecting pretty well because we have more golfers in it than we typically do. And the strength of field that's in there isn't terrible. That represents that bucket. It's not bad. So keep that in mind. But I do like Cameron Tringale. So let's use the buckets. I'm actually going to change this back down to 1 and see what the best Cantlay and Tringale lineup is. It includes Matt Kuchar, Keith Mitchell, Charles Schwartzel, and Grayson Sig. Now, this is all based off of the metric, which can be flawed. So, you know what? I don't really want Sig. I actually want to find the 7K golfer I want the optimizer to select, to pick from. So as I look, so we have 2 last year 2s, which I don't think I need any more last year 2s. I'm not sure if I need a really last week 1 or a last week 2, but I want to find a 7K golfer. Let's find a last year 1 with course history. I think that's probably Mito's not a bad choice. Mito has no course history, so never mind. I do like Mito, by the way. I'm gonna sort by salary because it's kind of difficult to try to figure this out. Minwoo Lee is not a terrible play. He has some course history. That's always a good thing. Cameron Champ seems like a pretty decent play. So I'm not against picking some of these rookies, and maybe that's what I'll end up doing. How about Alex Smalley? Or even Sahith Thigala? Or Thigala, I should say. There's just so many good 7K golfers. Hard to choose. Let's just go with Charles Schwartzel. He's already in that lineup. So how about this? Never mind. I want to see an Alex Smalley lineup. I want to see what the optimizer does by choosing Alex Smalley. But I think that Schwartzel lineup, it actually still selected Schwartzel. That's not terrible, honestly. Taylor Moore, young guy, Alex Smalley. How about this? I don't want 2 course history 5s. That is the bucket that has no course history. Look, I love this lineup. Trey Mullinax, one of my favorite 6K golfers this week. Charlie Hoffman, one of my favorite 8K golfers. Sink and Smalley. I mean, I don't really want Sink, so I can go ahead and take him off. Again, all this is based off of the metrics, so you know I could go in there and change these metrics around to get what I want. Matt Kuchar, not terrible. I don't care for Bryce Garnett. That's a bummer. Okay. Let me go ahead. Let's lock in Mullinax and see if that changes anything. Hoffman, Nick Taylor, Smalley. I love that lineup. We're saving that. Here is optimal lineup possibility number 1. Let's take a look at what a Daniel Berger lineup would look like. So again, we want a 10 and a 9K. If I'm being a little different, why don't we go with like Fitzpatrick? And I'm actually going to remove this, remove that, and remove Mullinax down here. See what the optimizer gives me. Looking at a Berger Fitzpatrick lineup. I actually really like that. And I like this lineup. Glover, Kuchar, Mitchell, and Sink. Like, I don't know if that's just me being picky with Cantlay and Tringali, but I like Glover. I like Kuchar. I really like that lineup. That's a good one. It didn't choose any rookies, by the way. Just keep that in mind. And then if we're doing a Jordan Spieth lineup, why don't we pair Jordan Spieth up with Jason Day? It's probably going to be a really highly used combination, but I really don't care. And now it uses Kirk, Merritt, Stallings, and Grayson Sigg. 49.2. I don't know if I want to leave that much money on the table. Let's go back up to 45.9 or 49.5. That's too much money leaving on the table. Ooh, Matt Jones. So I think you're gonna have high price or high owned guys with Spieth and Day. Go to Matt Jones. I actually really like that. Joel Damon, Troy Merritt, Grayson Sigg. I'm not a huge fan of Merritt. I will be playing him, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to like trying to figure out the optimal, don't think that's what I want. We include Nate Lashley now, now it's Mito Pereira, Chris Kirk, Stallings, and Nate. Let's do that. Sure. So these are some options. All the 7Ks that were floated in all those lineups, I think are wonderful ways of creating the optimal lineup. Again, we're using the bucket conditionals, which are the requirements to build the optimal lineup. We're just trying to find the players, you know, and that's kind of like you use your own mind for. Someone once told me, you know, building lineups, like finding success in building lineups is kind of using like equal parts science, like data, with equal parts creativity, which is just what your mind puts to the table. So this all passes the eye test. All the 3 lineups that I created pass the eye test. I really like them. It might have, you know, mix and match some of the other 7Ks with each other. If we go to the lineups, you can kind of see all of the 7K. Well, your 7Ks mostly in these 2, and then you got Stuart Sink, Lucas Glover. Otherwise, 8Ks in the other ones. But like I genuinely like these lineups. And I think they have a really good chance to hit the optimal lineup. So if you want to copy that, that's fine. I only created 3. I know some people don't like when people are building lineups, but honestly, I don't see an issue with it. So this is what I have for you guys when it comes to trying to find the optimal lineup and hitting the sweet spot of this tournament. Let's try to win a GPP, and definitely reach out to me. Like, I want to hear how well you did this week. Some subscriber reminders. You can win $10 this week by being a subscriber. Leave a comment down below. Give me your 2 favorite golfers you're anchoring your lineups around, and you'll get an entry into that giveaway. As long as we get 285 subscribers by the end of the week, I'll run that giveaway. And of course, the other one is Prize Picks. Sign up with the link in the description below. And of course, if you want the optimizer that I used, again, just follow the same rules that I have for the subscriber giveaway. But that is all that I have for you guys this week. Again, let's take down a GPP, or an optimal lineup would be nice too. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.